We are stopping them wherever we can, but there are areas where we can't stop them because of the nature of the border, forests, hills, said Ht Imam, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasinas' political advisor. We have requested international agencies for help for shifting the Rohingya temporarily into a place where they can live. An island called the Jar Char. Developing the Jar Char should be given serious consideration, he said. Leonard Doyle, chief spokesman for the International Organization for Migration, said the idea of moving refugees to the island has been talked about for years, but he hadn't heard anything new in the past few days. The plan to develop the island and use it to house refugees was criticized by humanitarian workers when it was proposed in 2015 and revived last year. Bangladesh, though, insists it alone has the right to decide where to shelter the growing numbers of refugees. The Honorable Prime Minister wants to resettle them in the Jar Char, though some people say that island will not be a suitable place for them, said another Hasina aide, who declined to be named. But there are many such areas in Bangladesh, where Bangladeshis live. It's our country, and we decide. Officials say no one could have foreseen just how many refugees would arrive so swiftly after violence in northern Myanmar last year sent more than 75,000 Rohingya fleeing across the border. The latest unrest in Myanmar's northwestern Rakhine state began on August 25, when Rohingya insurgents attacked dozens of police posts and an army base, prompting an army counter-offensive that has killed at least 400 people and forced entire villages to flee. Myanmar says its security forces are fighting a legitimate campaign against terrorists. The country's leader and Nobel laureate, Aung San Suu Kyi, has come under international pressure for not speaking out against the persecution of roughly 1.1 million Muslim Rohingya in the Buddhist-majority country. Out of space Imam, the advisor to Hasina, said a lack of space was the biggest concern right now, adding Bangladesh could not continue to house refugees in its schools and madrasas indefinitely. The islands gradually come up because of silting. That's continuing, and that's how Bangladesh has been created. If there are people there, why can't the Rohingya live there, he said. Some officials in Bangladesh's Interior Ministry are concerned that settling the refugees on the island would give them a sense of permanent residency, making it harder to send them back to Myanmar. Residents of Sandwip, the nearest island to the Jar Char, say the Rohingya are not welcome. Mizanur Rahman, the administrator of Mitbangha village, the closest settlement to the Jar Char, said local residents who have lost their land to erosion should be relocated first, ahead of the Rohingya. The UNHCR's local office did not respond to an email seeking comment about the relocation plan. Rohingya camped out in Cox's Bazar said they don't want to move to the island, fearing they could die there during the monsoon season and there won't be any work. The violence and refugee exodus have ratcheted up tensions between the two neighbors, and Bangladeshi officials said fighter jets were scrambled last week in response to several Myanmar defense helicopters violating its airspace.